you have a 22-year-old sitting in his car trying to be an influencer. And it's like, well, what the fuck could you possibly know that you're going to tell me about? Who's the fucking guy who's wanted to fight Tyson?
Oh, Jake
Yeah,
Paul?
Jake Paul. Like, you want to fight Tyson?
Yeah.
I'm not even saying he'd win or lose. I'm sure he'd lose, but that's your goal is to fight. Do you remember the conversations we would have as kids about Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Like $1 million, suck a dick or get punched by Mike Tyson.
Right.
Because in the 80s, you were probably going to die for both.
There he is.
What is up, everybody out there? Welcome to the Conference Call Podcast. If you have not rated and reviewed the show on your podcast platform, a 5-star and a review would be greatly appreciated. And we are also on Instagram and on YouTube. We are also starting in 2025. We will be converting to X with more film content, more content in general. I won't get into specifics on why until we officially launch our X with everything going. But until then, I'll keep you guys informed on the details. But, okay, guys. So, I hope everybody has gotten to exhale and understand where we are at in life now. and we've accepted it. Most people haven't. It's been a week. Like, let's get over this shit. Good heavens. I still see all these memes of everybody losing their goddamn minds. It's like, people, this is like, people can see this. Like, stop it. But shortly after, what I wanted to talk to you guys about, my wife went on vacation for a couple days, and it's been nice that I've had the house to myself with the kids. And what I've realized is that when both parents are together, kids are very happy-go-lucky. Everything's working out fine. Very talkative. You know, it's just like perfect. But when one parent takes off, you realize which one least likes you. And the crazy thing that I've noticed is that I already know that my son doesn't like me as much as his mother. But this little mini trip that she went on was the clear indicator that this fucking dude hates me. Like, no joke, this fucking dude does not like me at all. He has, like, refused to eat. He's gone, like, 2 days without eating. I've given him treats and stuff, but he just will not eat. And if you guys don't know already, I'm not talking about human kids. I'm talking about my fur babies. I don't want to freak anybody out. But yeah, I have 2 female dogs and 1 male. And this dude is already like has paranoia and anxiety up the wazoo. He's like 12 years old and stuff. And he's had like a great life. Like when I met his mom was going on 7 years ago. And he's always been like paranoid of everything. But now that his mom is gone, it is abundantly clear that even though he doesn't associate with anybody, he only associates with his mom. He only wants to be around his mom. And in a sense, I understand where like nature or nurture comes from. And it kind of like, it upset me, but then I understood. I understood it for a second. I understand why this country's half this country, less than half, left more than half this country wanted nurture to lead them on. But I understand that sometimes nature takes over, but right now in this household, nurture is not, apparently not in his wheelhouse. And it's like, what? I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm not a bad guy. I've said this like twice recently. And I don't know if anybody, I'm sure there's like pet people out there like, oh, you just got to doll up his food and do this, and that. I'm like, no, this guy gets his food dolled up. He gets treats on top of it. These dogs are spoiled. My dogs are so fucking spoiled. Me growing up, if my dad were to see me now, if I associated with my parents right now, specifically my dad, if he were to see how I treat my animals growing up the way he treated our animals, he'd be like, what the fuck? Everything is completely different. Like, did you not grow up in my household? And I would say to him, first off, I don't know why you're here. Second of all, I'm better. But that's just like a really dislike relationship right there. Just letting you guys know as well. People are like, God damn, dude, this guy tricked us into think he's starving his son and his son fucking hates him and that he hates his fucking dad. Dude, I don't. Why the fuck would I ever come on here and say that I'm starving my children? Jesus Christ, dude. People, like, it's a joke. It's a joke. I baited you guys into thinking that shit. Come on now, people. And the thing about my dad is true. Unfortunately. But that's a whole, like, another story that I'm going to eventually put into a book someday. I'm not going to do it on a podcast anymore. But it's been, she returns home tomorrow, which probably when this airs is when she's returning. And I'm going to see this fucking asshole's eyes just bright up, get so happy, and he's going to come and like lick my leg and be all happy to be around me like I didn't fucking exist until this fucking woman just stepped in the door. I don't know why that works out that way, but it's frustrating. But after all this, after seeing all this bullshit kind of transpire, another thing too, I'm an asshole. I don't know if anybody leaves their dogs outside while they go to work and stuff, but my dogs are like indoor dogs. They don't go outside unless they need to go potty. That's it. They don't go outside and fuck around because we're close to the hills and coyotes have zero fucks where the hell you are located and where your animals are at. I've gone to work early in the morning and seen like 4 or 5 just walk across the street looking for fucking animals. These coyotes out here are savages. So I'm like, this shit ain't happening. My big dog, my road dog, my Rogue, that's been with me like traveling and going from house to house doing this and that for years. She's gonna be 10 years old, and we've been doing this shit for like the past eight to actually, man, she has to be fucking older than that. Man, I always get tripped out on my dog's age because I think she's 10 years old, but I'm going on 7 years with my fiance. I'm thinking she's 10, going on 7 years. And it was 2 years prior to that I had separated. So she should be 9, 10. Yeah, I guess she's going on 11 years old. I always trip out about that. But anywho, so the first few days, I was home. So the first day when I had to go to work, nobody was here. I had to feed them, take care of them. No big deal. My stupid ass left them in their crates for the entire fucking day of my shift. And you're probably like, that's horrible. I'm like, no, they had water. Everything was fine. But I was like, all right, 8 hours is good. But I don't work an 8-hour shift. I drive. It's a 10-hour rotation because of where I drive and return. So when I got home, my dogs, and this is when I envy you people that have dogs that just get to stay outside. I completely envy you about this shit. Because I came home and it smelled like someone just, like they just had a shit-a-thon. But it was my big dog that didn't have like solid poop or anything like that. She diarrhea shit all over her bed, pissed everywhere. And I'm telling people right now, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, and it might, confuse some of you people. But I'd rather pick up shit than piss. Piss makes me, it's nasty. My legs are like, my knees are almost like breaking one another. They're so tight to each other. It makes me cringe so bad. When they piss on I'm thankful that we have tile floor pretty much all over the house. So when they do have accidents and they piss in the house, my wife's like, I'll get it. I know. And I'm like, and my dog must have just let go every single drop of piss in her body. Like it must have, that scene in Scary Movie when they're having sex and he just blows and his fucking body gets all sucked out and shit. That's exactly probably what my dog did in that crate, which she probably never ever does. But for some reason, when she's in this crate, she's like, oh, I have to do this right now, which I never really do. And I thought everybody was going to be fine. The two other dogs stay in one big ass crate because they're really small dogs. And they were fine. They were fine. They did nothing. And I'm looking at my dog. I'm like, really? You couldn't fucking be like these guys? You blew your asshole and your fucking piss box everywhere. So I get home. I have to deal with this. And I don't want to call my wife. I'm like, this happened. Because I want my wife to enjoy her vacation. Another thing. So I had to deal with all that shit. So I envy that. And I should probably, there were suggestions of like putting in a dog door. I'm like, things can get into this house. This is how savage it is where I live. I have a raccoon or some sort of rodent that lives in a tree in the corner of the back of my backyard where the lines, the fencing corners, and there's a big ass tree that covers it. And sometimes when we're out in the jacuzzi, we'll hear this fucking thing just like, and it'll be all across our roof. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, it took us almost a year to figure out what it was. And one day we're in the jacuzzi and we look over, and there's over our jacuzzi is kind of like a patio, which is kind of like cool setup. The jacuzzi's there's a big old patio, and there's a huge enclosure where there's a garage, and then there's our house right on the other side. So it's cool. It's a nice little cool enclosure, but we're outside. It's dark and we hear it. We're like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Because we're thinking maybe it's a cat, because we have strays all over the place. They're fucking cool. We have like 2 black cats and like I believe an orange cat that kind of comes around and fucks with my cat, because my cat will look outside and see all these cats just passing by, and he'll just start fluffing up. He's like, I want to fuck these dudes up. I'm like, no, dude, these guys are like street cats. These guys will kill you. Like this, I don't want to like go off completely off subject, because I'm already thinking about, dude, that's like the confidence that we have, thinking that that we can beat street people up. It's fucking really difficult unless you're a trained fighter and shit like that. See, and that's what sucks, because I start getting off track and I start thinking about other shit and I completely lose track, and I hate doing that shit. I really do. But so yeah, we were thinking about doing that. So anyways, so we're out in the jacuzzi, and then we hear it and we see this fucking raccoon or possum. I think it's a possum. Actually, it's a possum. It's a big ass possum. And we just saw it trotting along our wooden fence. No, there was no gravity, no balance issues at all. This thing was just like trotting like. It tripped me out. So I go, there is no possibility we can put in a dog door for these dogs. Because first off, my dog is so fucking big. She looks like, to give you a picture, she kind of looks like a greyhound. She's like a Weimaraner mix. If you guys don't know what that is, she kind of looks like a greyhound, like the body type. So she's a big fucking dog. She weighs 65 pounds. So I would have to get the biggest fucking dog door to accommodate this one. So if my dog can get through there and they just literally lay on the couch all day long, there's a big possibility that another cat may walk in and my dog will fucking destroy a cat. That's why we separate my cats and my dogs at the same time. The cats come out, they're segregated. So it's time for the meows to come out. It's time for the dogs to come out. But that's kind of how we have to do it, because my dog never grew up with cats. And that's another thing I'm envious with people that have cats and dogs and stuff and they play and everything's all good. They don't play. My dog like wants to corner these cats, give them heart attacks and shit. And my wife instantly wants to like punch my dog in the fucking hip to like subdue her. She does it. I'm just saying, like, she gets so paranoid thinking, because I've tried it. I'm like, let's just see what happens. You know, I'm going to be here. My dog won't do shit knowing I'm here because I've corrected her entire life. So she knows who's boss. So we've tried it, and there's just some times where you're not looking in your periph and my dog is cornering these cats and my wife's like, no, leave him alone. And one of my cats is blind. So it's just as horrible hearing this fucking monstrous thing coming at you and it doesn't smell like any other thing that you like and you're getting cornered and you don't know where the fuck you're at. It's like, I don't even know how to put it in perspective. I haven't been to a horror like theme park that's been completely black where I am just freaked out of my fucking mind. So I have to keep them all separated and all that shit. I can't have a doggy door for my dogs. What I'm trying to say is I've given my wife enough fucking time to be with her family. I need her home. I need you in bed. I need a cuddle. We need a spoon. The dogs need you. Your fucking son needs you. Your son needs to eat. So if I were to call my wife and say, hey, your son hasn't eaten in 2 days and I think he's depressed, she would be heartbroken and instantly get the car and turn around. And there's just no way I'm going to allow that to happen. You know, everything, I know I can give him treats and he'll be fine. But I need that I think we all need that nurture in this house. And I'm going to leave it to you like this, guys. I don't want to leave you with much more. Find the nurture in your life. We all need it. There is that special somebody. There is that special place. There's just something that can make you feel special for that one itty bitty second. And sometimes when it's not there for X amount of time, you love it even more. So, yes, babe, to my fiance, I do love you. Another thing, people, we are going to be podcasting the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight Friday the 15th. If you are on Instagram, you can follow us at the Conference Call Podcast. We will probably be going live there. So if you do want to catch some audio and watching us podcast at the same time, it's probably going to be me. I don't know if Gibbs will be able to make it for the main event, but I am hoping that a really good friend of mine, Mo Dirty, will be able to be a part of the podcast. So that's going to be fun. But anyways, thank you guys so very much for listening to the podcast. If you have not, again, rate and reviewed the show, please, a 5-star and a review would be greatly appreciated. You can follow us on YouTube and on Instagram at the Conference Call Podcast. But most importantly, keep positive and stay classy. Peace, y'all.